There's a place I'd like to take you tonight, a quiet winter forest where something waits to be discovered. This sleep story is designed to help you find deep rest, gentle acceptance, and peace. So find your most comfortable position, and when you're ready, close your eyes and come with me. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Under Moon and Stars Sleep Stories, where relaxation takes us to cozy, sleepy places. My name is Shelley, and I'll be guiding you into a peaceful night's rest. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Take a moment to settle yourself, to find a position that feels easy, unhurried, and kind to your body. Let the day fall away in small pieces, like snow drifting off a branch when the wind finally rests. The day loosens its fingers in its own time. You don't have to push it away. Just let it dim softly, the way twilight leans into evening, without ever needing to announce the change. Let the night settle around you like a gentle veil, cool at the edges, warm at the center. There's nothing you need to hold on to now, nothing you need to shape or solve, only this slow drift inward, this quiet unfurling of breath and awareness. You don't need to do anything right now. No expectations, no decisions, no effort. Just the quiet of this moment and the slow rise and fall of your breath. Notice your breath in, a slight pause at the top, and your long breath out, relaxing into your sleeping surface. Again, a deep breath in, a pause, and a long breath out. One more time, a deep breath in, a pause, and a long breath out. Good. Feel how your body responds to stillness, as if it has been waiting for this moment. The moment where everything outside softens to a hush, and everything inside finally has room to breathe. There's a peace that rises in such moments, not sudden, not dramatic, more like a small lamp glowing somewhere within you, steady and unhurried, a peace shaped by softness and by spaciousness, by the quiet understanding that you are allowed to be exactly as you are in this breath, in this hour, in this night. If your shoulders are holding anything, let them soften. If your mind is busy, let it know it can unwind at its own pace. Every part of you is welcome here exactly as it is. Nothing to fix, nothing to perfect. Just you and the gentle dark unfolding around you. Tonight, you'll step into a different kind of quiet and peace. The kind that feels like a blanket pulled up to your chin. The kind that holds you the moment you pause long enough to notice it. A quiet carried by snow and moonlight, by the hush of a forest waiting just beyond the edge of thought. And maybe you can sense it already, that spacious sort of peace that rises when the world slows down, when the air feels cool and clean, when memory and imagination start to blend at the edges. A peace with room for your whole self. Tonight, you'll wander gently into a winter forest of the coastal mountains, a place where the night is soft and the snow glows pale under the moon. And every step of your search leads you deeper into calm. You'll explore pathways touched with wonder, moments that feel like memories from long ago. And finally, you'll find the tree you have been searching for, waiting quietly for you. Not perfect, not polished, but full of a kind of beauty that only you could recognize. And to you, that is perfection. For now, though, stay right where you are. Feel the steadiness beneath you. Feel the air move in and out of your lungs, slow and peaceful, like the rhythm of night itself. There's no hurry. The forest will meet you when you're ready. As you rest in this awareness of the places of the between, a landscape begins to form at the edges of imagination. Faint at first, like the first traces of a dream, finding its shape. A stretch of winter forest waits there, holding itself in perfect stillness beneath the moon. Snow lies untouched on the branches and ground, its pale sheen catching the light in ways that look almost alive, as though the night itself is breathing softly over every quiet surface. You don't need to step into it yet. Just sense it. There's no hurry. Let your awareness hover at that threshold, that thin magical boundary between the world you came from and the one that is about to welcome you. The forest isn't a place you enter all at once. It gathers you gradually, with patience, with gentleness, with an understanding older than memory. And as your breath settles into a slower rhythm, as your body eases deeper into comfort, the boundary begins to dissolve, the winter quiet drawing nearer, snowlight brightening almost imperceptibly, a path revealing itself, as though it has been waiting for just this moment and for you. When you're ready, you'll step into that peaceful night, not to chase anything, not to achieve anything, but simply to wander, to listen, to feel the world soften around you in a way that invites wonder and welcomes rest. But for now, remain here a moment longer in the gentle cradle of beginnings, where the night gathers its calm peace and offers it to you with both hands. The moment you step forward, the night seems to open around you in a slow, graceful widening, as though the forest has been holding its breath, waiting for your arrival. The first sound is the gentlest thing, snow compressing beneath your foot, a soft, muted sigh that disappears almost before you register it. It's a sound that belongs only to winter nights, quiet enough to feel intimate, real enough to remind you that even the smallest step can reshape the stillness. The path is narrow at first, a pale ribbon laid across the dark earth, its edges blurred beneath a recent dusting of snow. Moonlight gathers along its surface in faint, luminous strokes, like someone brushed light across the ground with careful, deliberate hands. The trees rise on either side, tall and patient, their trunks dark and serene against the pale glow of the forest floor. Some lean slightly inward, as though curious to see who is wandering beneath their branches tonight. Others stand perfectly straight, as if honoring some quiet vow to hold steady through whatever the seasons bring. Nothing rustles, nothing calls out. The silence is complete, yet never empty. It feels full of presence, like a companion who says nothing, but somehow understands everything. A faint breeze lifts, stirring a thin drift of snow from a branch above you. It falls in a slow, spiraling descent, each flake catching the moon's pale glow for the briefest moment before setting back into stillness. You watch it without hurry, your breath naturally softening, matching the unhurried pace of the forest. With every step, the world behind you grows quieter, not lost, just softened by distance, as though the snow itself is gently tucking it away for another time. And something inside you responds to that quiet, a loosening, a subtle realignment, as though the forest is sweeping a space clear within you, the same way the wind sweeps a path clear of loose snow, a space where peace can gather without needing to be invited. Ahead, the path curves slightly, leading deeper into the trees. You can't see where it ends, only the way the light collects in soft pools along its winding shape. But there's no sense of urgency, no need to reach any particular point. The journey itself feels like the destination. Each step a small act of noticing, each breath a quiet blessing. Somewhere farther on, there's a faint warmth. Not something you can see yet, just a subtle shift in the air. A promise of gentle light waiting somewhere in the distance. It glows at the edge of intuition, the way a memory does when it's close enough to feel, but not yet clear enough to name. For now, though, you simply move deeper into the hush of the trees, letting the forest draw you in, the way a calm night draws in the last of the day, with patience, with softness, with a peace that gathers quietly and settles deeper with every step. As you follow the winding path deeper into the forest, the night seems to fold around you more fully. Shadows stretch long and soft across the snow, branching like fingers reaching gently toward the ground. The moonlight spills through the canopy, glinting off frost and ice. touching the edges of every branch, every subtle curve of the trail. And somewhere ahead, just beyond the edge of your vision, a soft, steady glow appears. It is the far-off cottage, warm and inviting, a distant pulse of human light in the vast hush of the woods. You don't step toward it. It does not call you directly. It simply reminds you that comfort exists, that warmth is part of the world, even here in this quiet winter night. The true call, though, is something subtler. It draws you forward with a quiet insistence that is felt more in the chest than seen with the eyes. You are looking for a tree that waits for you somewhere along this path. And yet, the search is its own gentle guide. Each glimpse of moonlight, each glint of snow, each curve of the trail leads you onward, like a whispered invitation from the forest itself. The search pulls you deeper, but it is not urgent, not frantic. It's deliberate, patient, alive with quiet wonder. Every tree you pass has its own shape, its own presence. Some seem nearly perfect at first glance, but as you step closer, you notice a crooked branch, a subtle lean, a delicate imperfection. And somehow, that imperfection feels right. A quiet reminder that beauty is never flawless, that belonging is never a matter of perfection. A faint wind stirs the boughs above, and the snow drifts down in tiny spirals, catching the moonlight for a fleeting heartbeat before landing softly on the ground. Each flake seems deliberate, as if the night itself is breathing rhythmically, pulling you onward, showing you step by step that the journey is unfolding exactly as it should. The trees part just slightly, revealing glimpses of a wider clearing beyond. Through the gaps, you catch sight of something luminous, the faint shimmer of snow on distant branches, the suggestion of a space held especially for what you seek. You feel yourself drawn there, not by necessity, but by curiosity, by quiet longing, by that deep knowing that comes from moving gently toward something that has been waiting for you all along. The forest continues to murmur softly, leaves brushing together in a hushed symphony, snow crunching beneath your feet, wind whispering through the trunks. And with each step, your anticipation grows in a subtle, serene way. A pull toward the tree you're searching for, a thread weaving into the hush, a rhythm that matches your breath, your heartbeat, your own quiet wonder. The far-off cottage glows still in the distance, a reminder that warmth exists beyond the search. And yet you cannot linger there. You follow the call of the forest, its snow-lit path, its rhythm of silence and glimmering moonlight, moving deeper, pulled onward, softly, patiently, toward the tree that waits for you somewhere ahead. A quiet promise shimmering in the snow. The forest shifts almost imperceptibly as you walk, its quiet deepening, its shadows settling into a gentler rhythm. And then, without warning or announcement, a familiar warmth stirs beneath the cold. Not a memory exactly, more like the echo of a tradition rising from some place woven into you long before you knew the word for nostalgia. The trail widens around a stand of evergreens, their branches dusted with snow so soft it looks like breath exhaled onto dark green needles. And something in their presence awakens an old, cherished feeling, the steady, shining anticipation of searching for the perfect tree. Not an image, not a scene, only the feeling of it. The crunch of snow under many feet, the way the cold on your face always seemed to brighten everything. The sky, the trees, the sense of adventure simmering under your coat, the quiet certainty that you would find the tree together, guided not by logic but by a kind of shared instinct. The same instinct that whispers now, urging you farther down this winter path. A soft glow brushes the edges of the trail, the kind of glow that used to halo around windows on those evenings, warmth waiting, laughter resting just behind it, a calm that guided you home, whether you noticed it then or not. That glow hangs lightly in the branches here, echoing the truth that some traditions don't end. They simply settle into your ribs and travel with you. As you move deeper into this part of the forest, the trees seem to open a little, the way people gently part to let a beloved memory pass through. There's a sweetness in the air, not the sweetness of sugar or spice, but the sweetness of belonging, of knowing you had a place in the world that felt larger and kinder for your presence in it. You walk on, and these impressions move with you, quiet, steady companions. The shared laughter muffled by scarves, the slow, thoughtful circling of each possible tree, the unspoken agreement when you've found the right one, a small ceremony of choosing, of lifting, of carrying home a piece of the forest with reverence. It was never about the tree itself. It was about the feeling of being part of something gentle, something certain, something that breathed peace into the cold air. And here, in this deep winter wood, that same feeling rises again. Acceptance, adventure, the peacefulness of belonging to the quiet world around you. It settles over your shoulders like a shawl of dusk-colored wool, warm despite the snow. You feel it in your breath, your steps, the soft tug of intuition pulling you onward, not as a command, not as a quest, simply as the natural continuation of a tradition older than memory, the tradition of walking through winter with wonder. You keep moving, guided by the same instinct that once guided small mittened hands toward a perfect evergreen. Only now, it leads you into deeper quiet, deeper calm, deeper trust in the path beneath you. And the forest, patient and knowing, opens just a little more ahead. A threshold to something waiting. Something you have felt before and are ready to feel again. The forest begins to thin in a way that feels almost shy, as though it's offering you something precious, but doesn't want to disrupt your solitude. Branches grow sparser overhead, letting more of the night sky spill through. A soft silver blue lantern hanging above the world. You notice it first as a brightness, a shimmer that doesn't quite belong to snow. Then the air changes, carrying with it a coolness more fluid than the forest's stillness. A faint rhythmic hush unfurls between the trees, so gentle it might be nothing more than imagination, yet it beckons just the same. You step forward, and suddenly there it is, not fully visible but present like a secret shared quietly between old friends. Through the dark silhouettes of firs, the sea appears in fragments, shifting mirrors of moonlight, silver breathing out across a vast, quiet expanse. It's distant enough to remain dreamlike, yet near enough that its presence alters the night's cadence. The forest listens to it, and you find yourself straining to listen to it too. Snow drifts down in slow spirals, catching the moon's glow just long enough to glimmer before settling on branches and earth. Each flake seems to fall with intention, softening every edge of the world. And somehow, the sight of the distant sea makes the forest feel even more intimate, as though this path belongs to you alone. There's a peace in this moment that doesn't need naming, the peace of vastness, softened by distance, of knowing the world is wide and quiet and holding you gently in its hands. You pause, letting that wideness settle over you and into you. It doesn't overwhelm, it doesn't rush. It simply expands inside your chest, like a breath you hadn't realized you'd been waiting to take. The moonlight pools on the snow, illuminating the trail ahead. Each patch of brightness feels like a subtle invitation, not urging you onward, but welcoming you to follow your own steady rhythm. The search for the tree continues, but it feels different now, infused with this silent connection to something larger than the forest itself. You walk on, and with each step, the sea becomes less of a destination and more of a companion. Its distant shimmer threads through the trees like a soft reminder that you are part of something vast. Yes, but also something deeply calm. A universe that stretches far beyond the mountains. It finds its way into a single breath, a single step, a single quiet night like this. As you turn back toward the deeper forest, the sea's glow lingers behind you, not fading but simply settling into place, a horizon of silver peace that will follow you wherever the path bends next. And the path does bend, curving gently into the next part of the forest, where the air feels a little older, the quiet a little wiser, as though it's preparing to reveal something that has been waiting for you all along. The path narrows again as you move away from the shimmering horizon. The sea's distant glow fades into a gentler silver woven through the branches, becoming part of the quiet rather than standing apart from it. And with each step, the forest feels a little older, its stillness settling into deeper layers beneath the snow. You sense it before you see it, a presence, a hush within the hush. The trees ahead grow taller, their trunks dark and straight like pillars supporting the night. The snow seems to fall more slowly here, each flake drifting with reverence, as if this part of the forest has earned a softer kind of silence. Then the trail curves, and there it stands, an ancient evergreen, broad-shouldered and quietly magnificent, rises at the heart of a small clearing, its branches layered in snow like the folds of a heavy winter robe. It isn't imposing, it isn't proud. It simply is, rooted in the kind of long, patient wisdom that doesn't need to announce itself. You feel its presence like a deep exhale inside your chest. Its trunk is textured with time, marked by storms it has endured, seasons it has held, creatures it has sheltered. Every knot and seam feels like a chapter of something lived honestly, and yet the tree doesn't feel weathered. It feels whole, complete, steady in a way that makes your heart steady too. There's a quiet recognition here, as if the tree is seeing you, not your story, not your striving, but the stillness beneath everything you've ever carried. The part of you that has always been enough. A few low branches dip under the weight of snow, creating an arch that feels like a gentle invitation. You don't approach out of obligation or expectation. You approach because the moment draws you softly forward, the way familiar truths do. Standing before it, you notice something subtle. The tree seems to breathe with the forest, not literally, but in a rhythm that feels alive. A slow pulse of presence, ancient and unhurried. Its age is not intimidating. Its imperfections are not flaws. They simply speak a language of resilience, a language you understand without needing words. And for a moment, you feel held by its quiet endurance. There's peace here. Not a fragile peace, but a grounded one. The kind that settles into your ribs like warmth from a fire you didn't know you needed. The kind that gently reminds you that longevity has never meant perfection, only persistence, only staying, only being. You rest in the presence of the ancient evergreen, letting its stillness mingle with your breath. The forest seems to wait with you, patient and protective. And then, as softly as a thought rising from the heart, a familiar pull returns, the intuitive tug that has guided you since the beginning. The search isn't over. The perfect tree, the one meant to be found tonight, is still somewhere ahead. You step away from the ancient sentinel with quiet gratitude, leaving its wisdom rooted behind you, steady and eternal. The path stretches forward again, gentle and welcoming, the snow whispering softly as it falls, and you follow, peace moving with you like a second shadow, leading you deeper into the winter night. The forest gradually begins to unclasp around you. At first, it's subtle, a loosening of branches overhead, a thinning of trunks along the path. Then, after a gentle rise in the trail, the trees fall back entirely, as though bowing out to reveal something they've been guarding. You step into a clearing, and the sky opens like a held breath released. Above you stretches a vast, shimmering expanse, stars scattered across the darkness with such quiet precision that it feels less like looking upward and more like being gently drawn into the sky itself. The moon hangs bright and steady, not cold but watchful in a way that feels almost protective. Its light falls across the snow in long, graceful strokes, illuminating the world in soft silvers and pale blues and vibrant purples. The clearing is silent but not empty. There is a presence here, a cosmic stillness that feels older than the mountains, older than memory, older even than the forest behind you. You lift your gaze and the stars seem to deepen. They aren't distant. They feel near, almost familiar, as if each one carries the echo of something you've always known, but rarely stop long enough to hear. There's a fullness in the air, a sense that the universe is not something you stand beneath, but something you belong to. The vastness isn't overwhelming. Instead, it rests around you with the gentleness of a hand placed lightly on your back, steadying, reassuring. The longer you stand there, the quieter everything inside you becomes. Your breath finds the slow rhythm of the night. Your thoughts settle like snowflakes on still water. Your chest loosens, widening with a peace that feels both immense and deeply intimate. It's as though the sky is reflecting something back to you, a reminder that spaciousness isn't only above you, it lives within you too. Infinite room for softness, infinite room for wonder, infinite room for simply existing as you are. A faint wind drifts across the clearing, stirring the tips of the pines and sending a little swirl of powder into the air. Under the moonlight, even that small movement glimmers, as though the sky is breathing with you. A shared inhale, a shared exhale. You stand in the clearing a while longer, wrapped in the quiet presence of constellations that have watched countless winters before this one. The moment feels both timeless and fleeting, the way all things do when the heart finally goes still enough to listen. Eventually, with a peacefulness that settles deep into your bones, you return to the path. The forest welcomes you back, its shadows softened, its silence companionable. And you continue forward, carrying the vastness with you, glowing softly in the spaces deep in your soul. As you step back beneath the shelter of the trees, the sky performs a small, tender shift. The air grows still, almost expectant. A hush settling over the branches, the path, the very shape of the night. And then, as if released from some invisible threshold, the snow begins to fall more steadily. It's not a storm, not even a flurry, just a patient, unhurried drifting. Flakes descending in slow spirals that glow faintly in the moonlight. Each one seems to hang in the air a moment longer than it should, as though the night is reluctant to let them go. You pause without meaning to. The world grows exquisitely quiet. Snow gathers in your hair, on your shoulders, along the trail at your feet. The forest around you becomes softer, edges blurred, shapes deepened. Even your breath feels quieter, dissolving into the air without sound. Time loosens its grip here. Seconds stretch like gentle threads pulled long and thin, woven into the hush of falling snow. There's no hurry, not from the path, not from the distant sea, not from the moon or the trees or even your own thoughts. Everything slows into an easy, open stillness. And for a moment, you feel beautifully small within this grand, luminous world. Not insignificant, never that, just peacefully part of something vast and kind. The cold is pure, almost cleansing, brushing your skin with the same softness the forest offers to its oldest trees. It's the kind of cold that heightens everything, sharpening your awareness of how deeply alive the quiet can be, how comforting it is to simply be held by the natural world, wrapped in its steady presence. A flake lands on the back of your hand and lingers before melting. A brief crystalline kiss of winter, here and gone in an instant. You watch it vanish, and somehow even that small disappearance feels gentle, part of the rhythm of the night. More snow drifts down, each flake turning slightly as it falls, catching a whisper of moonlit silver. The forest seems to breathe with the snowfall, its silence deepened but not empty. You feel that breath inside you, slow and easy, matching your own. This moment is a pocket of stillness within the journey, a soft pause, a suspended breath, a quiet reminder that peace doesn't always come from grand revelations. Sometimes it finds you in small drifting flakes, in the cool night air, in the simple act of standing still beneath a sky that knows you. You take one more breath, letting the calm settle fully into you, sinking through your chest and down to your hands, your steps, your very center. And when you finally continue on, the snowfall accompanies you, a soft veil of silver drifting down, cradling the path ahead in its quiet light. The snowfall guides you onward, soft as a whispered reassurance. The forest gathers close again, not in a way that feels confining, but in a way that feels intentional, as though it's gently steering you towards something it has kept safe just for you. The trail becomes faint, less a path and more an intuition beneath your feet. Each step carries the calm you've collected from the vast sky, the old tree's quiet wisdom, and the snowfall's suspended hush. The night is deeply peaceful, your breath part of its rhythm. Then ahead, the trees open just slightly, a small hollow nestled between evergreens. Moonlight slips down through a break in the branches, pooling onto a soft cradle of untouched snow. And there it is. A perfect winter tree stands alone in the quiet clearing. Not tall, not symmetrical, not remarkable in any traditional way. Its branches tilt a little to one side, as if shaped by wind and time. A few needles gather frost that catches the moonlight in delicate, shimmering patches. Other branches lift upward with a hesitant grace, as though reaching for the sky in their own gentle rhythm. Nothing about it tries too hard. Nothing about it needs to. The moment you see it, something settles inside you. Not recognition exactly, but that rare, peaceful alignment of inner and outer worlds. As though this tree has been waiting in the quiet all along, knowing that you would find each other in your own time. You step closer and the clearing holds its breath in the softest way, letting the moment bloom around you. There's a steadiness to this little tree, a quiet resilience in the way it stands here, imperfect, unpolished, and yet entirely right. It feels less like a discovery and more like a reflection. Its crooked branches echo the beautiful human ways you've grown. The frost holding to its needles reminds you of the light you carry even on the coldest nights. This tree doesn't need grand symmetry to be worthy. It doesn't need height to be meaningful. just exists here, honestly. A small heart of the forest laid bare in the moonlight. And somehow, standing before it, you feel seen in a way that surprises you. The peace that rises in you now is personal, intimate, the kind that doesn't shout or sweep or overwhelm, but settles quietly into the spaces that have longed for gentleness, the kind that whispers, "You belong, as you are, and you always have." A single snowflake drifts through the clearing, dusting the tree's crooked branches in a soft shimmer. The sight is tender enough to still you completely. This is the moment the journey has been guiding you toward. Not the accomplishment of finding something perfect, but the peace of recognizing something true. Something that mirrors your own quiet beauty. You rest in that recognition, letting the night wrap itself around you, the little tree steady at your side, like an old friend finally found. The world feels small in the best way, intimate, kind, deeply connected. And within that quiet clearing, you feel a gentle certainty blooming. This is your place in the moment, your moment in the place, and everything within and around you is enough. You remain in the clearing for a long, unhurried moment. The small tree standing beside you like a quiet companion. The forest seems to deepen around you, not darken but soften, its shadows blending into one another like slow-moving currents of calm. The snowfall has settled into a steady whisper, each flake descending with the patience of a dream. The air wraps close, cool enough to feel clean, soft enough to soothe, and the moon sits high above, unwavering, its pale light spreading across the clearing. You breathe in, and the breath feels spacious. You breathe out, and something inside you lets go. The night listens and answers with silence. You settle down beside the tree, the snow beneath you pillowed and undisturbed. Its presence is steady beside you, the imperfect little branches arching in their gentle, honest way. You lean into the moment, feeling the forest cradle you, the way familiar arms might after a long journey home. The sky above glows with constellations that seem less like distant fires and more like openings, windows into a quiet, ancient tenderness. They hold their places like guardians, patient and kind. Even the moon seems to lower itself slightly, as though drawing nearer to keep you company. Your breath naturally slows, sinking with the hush around you, the slow fall of snow, the soft rise of your chest, the quiet heartbeat of the forest. Everything grows indistinct at the edges, as though the night is smoothing away the lines of waking life. The path, the trees, the endless sky, all of it melts into a gentle blur, a watercolor of silver and soft blue and vibrant purples. Peace gathers around you in layers. The peace of the tree's simple truth, the peace of the snowfall's soft surrender, the peace of the vast sky holding you in its endless arms, the peace of the forest's quiet faithfulness, the peace of your own breath, steady and warm. It all wraps around you like a blanket pulled up with infinite care. Your thoughts drift the way snowflakes drift, slow, unhurried, easily carried by the night's softness. The forest darkens further, not with shadows but with rest, a deeper shade of calm that invites your eyes to grow heavy, your body to loosen, your mind to soften into the spaces between moments. Even the little tree seems to lean closer, offering its quiet presence as you drift. Your breathing becomes the soft rhythm of sleep beginning, and gradually the clearing fades, the forest blurs, the sky melts into a glowing wash of silver, until all that remains is warmth and weightlessness and the sense of being held by the night, by nature, by the quiet story that you've become part of. Let yourself drift. Let the breath carry you. Let the softness take you. The world is peaceful here, and you are safe to sleep. I wish you well, my friend. I wish you peace.